You've probably heard of earth energy, and what we call earth energy is something that you can tune into in your very own home. And in this video I want to talk a little bit more about the importance, if you like, of what earth energy lines actually are and why they're important to us on a day-to-day basis. In every single home there is at least a little tiny tributary of earth energy. And the most significant one is what Hamish Miller, my dear mentor, used to call the power centre. At a sacred site you would be able to dowse for the most powerful power centre, and usually it's just off the centre of the stone circle.
I've been really very lucky because I've been able to go all around the world looking at sacred sites. But one of the most powerful and the one that affected me profoundly was the one in Castle Hill in South Island in New Zealand. And I started dowsing for the power centre, and it had 5 big energy lines which come in from different directions. I mean, there were bands of that sort of relative size, and they were meeting here at that point.
And what most people don't realise is that actually you've got a very, very similar power centre, perhaps not as strong, but you've got a similar power centre in your home. Basically, what we have, and I'll show you with the dowsing rods, it's about there, that is the centre, the main power centre, earth energy power centre of our house. So, earth energy power centre here, it's a big vortex. It comes out from a tiny thing, comes up, big vortex. It's a 3-dimensional thing, but we can measure it in 2 dimensions using this. And the thing that we're trying to measure here is the fact that there are straight line radials coming out of this power centre. And what we want to do is just a power centre at rest, and let's just mark the first one. So there's one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stand up for this because I have to walk round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 lines, radial, straight lines coming out of this power centre at the moment. What we're going to do is now I'm going to just communicate by sending loving compassion into this power centre.
Now, normally, when you have something like that, you have some sort of manifestation at the point, which is an addition to the spiral and all the radials. And I went very confidently towards this thing because I thought, here we have one of the major sacred sites in New Zealand. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just marked the place with a little stone.
Very short time that, but there seemed to be quite a nice response. Now what I'm going to do is to count those radials again, okay? So I'm going to have to stand up for that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Okay, so it had gone from 7 to 12. Now they weren't quite as strong, and I think that is because they just literally formed. So you saw that the rod wasn't responding as much, but that's gone from a 7 count to a 12 count. That's nearly doubled, more or less, just by sending compassionate love and awareness to that space.
I was actually with a group of people, and the group included an amazing Maori girl, and she suddenly got up and she had a backpack, and out of her backpack she took this enormous great punamu stone. This is punamu, the green stone, the peace stone. It's a magical, it's a jade type thing. It was much bigger than that. I suddenly was aware of it, getting this punamu stone out and walking very carefully into the centre of this marae, and she hadn't been there. Nobody had seen me dowsing. And she kicked the stone away with great ceremony, laid the stone down on that point, and then stood back and started singing to the earth. It was a delightfully peaceful ceremony. So the following morning, I went up, and where I had had no indication of a manifestation whatsoever the day before, or 2 days before, there was suddenly the most beautiful thing which had formed itself right on that point. This thing did not exist the day before. This thing was a direct result of Donna, Maori, close to the earth, singing, consciously communicating with a power center in the earth.
So that's the power center of this particular house. Now you'll have one of those in your house. As you saw, it reacts to the heart energy, whatever it is that we send out from our hearts, our loving intent in this case. And so if we interact with the earth energy with intention, whatever that intention is, it will help increase the prospects of that intention being held in the manifestation process. And this is the process of us as a species being enabled to actually create our reality around us. This is why earth energy is so incredibly significant. And this is why in ancient times and ancient spiritual societies, earth energy was held in such high regard, because it is so absolutely important.
It's just so important that people realize that they do have a direct communication through the consciousness with the planet. And they can affect profoundly the future of the planet and the communication with the planet and the care for the planet.
It is part of the process. Manifestation is a three-way process. It is us, it is the earth energy, it is the higher beings.